Okay, Wednesday, 23rd of October, 2024. So Adrian's daily vlog, sharing smart stuff men should know. Relationship Wednesday, love better. Long distance relationships. As a rule of thumb, they need to be avoided. But also as a rule of thumb, they can work if. So I'd say they need to be avoided because the dangers of that condition. That condition is if the temptation, if there's no one better, if they can wait, if you think it can really work, if you think that the other person can't find anyone better, either in general, better or as high value as you. But that's too many ifs for a relationship in general. There's too many ifs in general. So that's why as a rule of thumb, they need to be avoided. I say they need to be avoided because there's too many things at play. If it's in person and you're meeting and talking and spending time together, great. Then by definition, it's not long distance. It's down the road, it's around the corner, it's together in the same building. Same building, powerful, priceless, useful, good. So as a rule of thumb, we want to avoid them. Let me tell you. However, they can still work. Human nature. If she wants him and he wants her, that desire, that passion is strong enough, then it can endure. It can endure the distance. It can endure the time. It'll have the patience. Especially if there's no one, if she especially can't find someone as high quality as you, as the man. All the competition over there in her vicinity is down here, but you're up here. The bigger that gap, the more likely she'll wait for you. Why? Because the men in her immediate vicinity around her are not as good as you. So therefore, she would be willing. But therein lies the implicit burden of performance on a man to be high quality in all the different metrics and ways that men would have to be, and what metrics women would measure them by. He'd have to be damn high quality to justify her not being tempted by lesser competition or other people in general. The higher the quality man, the more likely she will endure and have the patience to wait. Notice the word wait and endure the time and the patience, that. So again, it's conditional. And also at the same time, there's no connection, there's no bonding, there's no memories. It's all just text messages and videos and whatever else. That's not a relationship in the truest sense. That's just a pen pal. You need to be having active experiences together. I did a video about this, where you do active things in the relationship. Roller coasters, traveling, mountains, road trips, going to places. Not just restaurants, but doing active things in the relationship. And that's a lot harder. The further away you live, the harder it'll be. If in the same house, it's extremely easy. Just go somewhere on the weekend, on Sunday, whatever else, just go somewhere. Just go. Very easy. But if it takes a lot of planning, organisation, flights, logistics, all this way ahead of time, the harder it'll be to do things together, because there's a higher barrier to entry. That's what I'm looking for. There's more requirements. If you're living together or down the road, you just meet up and just go. But if you've got to get a flight and Airbnb and logistics and planning and strategizing and buses and trains, effort. Unless there's a damn compelling reason to be with the person, and that goes back to that value thing here. It works both ways. If she can't do any better and he can't do any better, if he or she are up here and all the rest are down here, then by definition, yes, it could work. Because what's the alternatives? Always remember that. What's the alternatives? Well, it's quality down here, but this one over there, which is 100 miles away, is way up here. I'm going to focus and pursue that one. Exactly. So that, but as a rule of thumb, they want to be avoided because it's that risk. I say if there's a 1% chance of something bad happening, just 1% versus 0% chance, it's impossible. Then within reason, go for that 0% chance. Now, if there's a 1% chance that she'd leave, he'd find someone else. It's not going to work out, or the patience of it, the requirements are just too much. Oh, I need to wait. Oh, I need to do this. Oh, once a year, once a month. Oh, maybe I'll see you next week, next month. It's too much of a fantasy and delusion. It's too much of a, maybe one day, if perhaps, eventually, perhaps, yeah, maybe, kind of, one day in the future, in 2020, whenever, 2030, whenever, as opposed to, she lives down the road, we live together, we've been to loads of places together, we've been here, been there, and it's easy to organise stuff together. We just meet up and get an Airbnb and go. Easier and quicker. The path of resistance, path of least resistance, say, proper relationship, as opposed to long distance relationship. But as a principle, they can still work, because we're dealing with humans here. Human emotion, desires, infatuation, passion. It's still possible. It's still very possible. However, there needs to be a direction. There needs to be something that a relationship has to work towards, a deadline, if you will. By this day, we want to achieve this together. And it goes from in the air, fantasy, delusion, one day, into something concrete. And it transitions from a long distance into something concrete, something together, something meaningful. Because I did a video, I guess it was last week now, I don't remember now. It's all fun and games. It's all fun and games. It's all fun and games. It's all fine to do a 3-hour video call once or whenever, or sending texts and videos all the time. And it's just text messages, yeah. It's all fun and games until something happens, until it escalates. See, a text message is all that. What's that? It's videos, it's text messages, video call. What's that versus holding hands? What's 10 hours of video call versus spending time together holding hands and actually doing something, going somewhere, traveling somewhere, going out into the world, into the physical world and doing stuff? It's priceless. I came to a subtle realization, July 2022, that anything offline in the real world is infinitely more valuable, again, within reason. I did a video about this, within reason, more valuable than anything online. Personal relationships, physical, in person, holding hands, is infinitely more valuable than as many long distance relationships as you want. It's powerful, because these are all just potential promises. Now again, they might still work if you can transition from empty promises and talking and texting and all the rest to something concrete. But that concrete thing is infinitely more valuable because it leads to more things. Infatuation, greater emotion, greater respect. This touch is much more powerful than text. Touch is powerful. Touch is more powerful than text. It's priceless. That's nicely priceless, actually. So that's worth understanding. But as a principle, they can work if they can transition. But as a principle also, they should be avoided because the temptation is too great. There's too many unknowns, there's too many factors. It could be too delusional, if it's too abstract, it's too, that. But, you're an adult, come to your own decision. But otherwise, Adrian's daily vlog, sharing smarter stuff men should know. You will see me tomorrow.